So, hey guys, today we're going to be, well, I guess, talk about how to utilize light imprisoning mirror, and dark imprisoning mirror as floodgates, because why not? So there's no reason to do this at the moment, I would say, but, knowledge is power, I suppose. And these cards are at the rarity. What are the arts on these? Never really looked at them that closely before, but alright. With Light Imprisoning Mirror, this one is not that tough to utilize, and also the Dark Imprisoning or Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, also not that difficult to utilize. So it says negate all dark monster effects activated on the field or in the graveyard, so this will also be able to negate your own cards. So there's the idea of potentially making it so you're activating monster effects in the graveyard, perhaps. Like maybe a fire monster in the graveyard, that'd be fine. We have the idea of doing that with this as well. And to really utilize these cards as floodgates, well, we're not just going to be playing this against a dark deck because that'd be silly, right? So for example, with Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, this will do nothing against Fiendsmith. And then we go to Light Imprisoning Mirror. This will do nothing against Malice, right? So, alright, here's the plan, here's the play. So, the simple idea, well, if our opponent is not playing dark monsters, we can just make them play dark monsters. And there are a few ways to go about this. This would be a little bit easier than Light Imprisoning simply because there are more options. But, alright, simple answer, Lair of Darkness. If we are playing Lair of Darkness, all face-up monsters on the field become dark, and therefore all monster effects activated on the field will be negated. This doesn't work on continuous effects, interestingly enough, though. This just negates activated effects. Worth mentioning, I suppose. And this will also negate your own cards, and also it won't do anything necessarily in the graveyard. So, for example, if I have Shadow Imprisoning Mirror plus Lair of Darkness, and my opponent has, like, I guess, maybe an engraver in the graveyard, it'll be able to special summon itself, right? Because it is not a dark monster in the graveyard, only on the field. But, okay. The other way we can do this is with the Maple Maiden. So Maple Maiden has this effect here. If this card is special summon, you can declare one attribute. This card gains the following effect. All face-up monsters become that attribute. And because this is a continuous effect and not an activated effect, this does not get negated by either the Shadow or Light Imprisoning Mirror. And it says all face-up monsters become the attribute, so of course that includes your opponent's monsters. And it also has this removal effect for whatever reason, and Maple Maiden's pretty chunky, being at 2.6k defense. So, good looking through this, I suppose. So, an idea for utilizing Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, I guess, because this is a Synchro 7, we could just do Synchro 7 Turbo. So then, go grab Lair of Darkness and put a Maple Maiden on the field. And then Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, I don't know, you can figure out how you get this card. There are a few ways you could go about it. But that's not too important right now, I guess. And then Light Imprisoning Mirror. Negate all light monster effects activated on the field or in the graveyard. And you know what's worth mentioning, I guess? I kind of forgot about this, but the Fiendsmith cards specifically require light fiends, so if you just convert their monsters to dark, they become dark fiends and therefore are not usable. Thought that was at least worth a mention, but yeah. With Light Imprisoning Mirror, there isn't like a field spell that conveniently turns your monsters, well, your opponent's monsters into light monsters, so you can just use Maple Maiden once again, declare light, and then all of your opponent's monsters will become light, and therefore floodgated by the light imprisoning mirror. And that's simply that idea, I guess, right? So, should I tell you guys how to access these cards? Feels kind of like mean-spirited to throw that much information. And I mean, I guess you guys could probably figure it out on your own as well. Well, I mean, with a field spell, right now, it's just so easy to search field spells just randomly, so I don't know. Let's throw in a few of those. So we have, let's see, try to Terra, which searches polymerization, and then you do a fusion into Hornsaurus. You use the effect of Kaitoptera, and this allows you to place any field spell from your deck or graveyard face up in your field zone. This is from graveyard as well. Ah, well, I never read that part of the effect, but okay. You can just activate this. Wait, this card can attack directly, but only on the turn it is special summon. This card has a lot of freaky text, honestly. How am I supposed to feel about this? But alright. You can just set Layer of Darkness with this. We also have Ancient Fairy Dragon. This would require a second field spell, but you know. This works up at least one field spell, and then you can add one to your hand. So, Layer of Darkness. Easy enough. If we were messing around with Magispector stuff, you know. I guess it'd mostly be this one. Pegasus, the Draco Slayer. If this card is specifically has to be summoned one of these ways, if this card is special summoned by the effect of a Draco Slayer card, or Pendulum Summon, you can add one field spell from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. So the easiest way, I mean, there are technically two ways we could summon Majesty Pegasus. So one way is making the generic rank 4 Magispector Draco Ryu, and then tributing a card. So it says here, if any monster is tributed while this card is on the field, you can detach one material, special summon a level 1 level 6 or lower wind spellcaster monster from your deck. And as you can see, that's a Magispector card. And this is a wind spellcaster. And this says special summon by the effect of a Draco Slayer card. Well, this is my Magispector Draco Ryu, so that this doesn't trigger, right? Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't trigger on this effect, right? Yeah. So you would still have to perform a Pendulum Summon, I guess, after summoning Ryu. Which is jank. But you know, it works, I guess. Special summoned by a Draco Slayer or Magispector card. Right? No. Only Draco Slayer. Weird. And then what's this other effect? If you have a Magispector or Draco Slayer card in your other Pendulum Zone, you can add one Magispector card from your deck to your hand, then you destroy one card in your Pendulum Zone. So I guess you could just link these two off, and then if you have scales, you can just pen summon, right? Which works, I suppose. Cool. And then that would trigger the Majesty Pegasus. Sure, that works. Enough, I guess. That this one feels like somewhat niche. I think there was like a setup for this specifically though. But alright. If we are able to just add this to the hand, I guess, this also can kind of work. But the idea behind this one, well, there are two different ideas, I guess. One is we just add Dynamite Powerload the Draco Slayer, which then has the effect to special summon a Draco Slayer, so that would allow us to special summon the Majesty Pegasus. So we could scale this, and then like scale this, right? Special summon Majesty Pegasus. There's also technically just popping Ignis Phoenix and then special summoning this from deck. And there's also just making Ignis their prominence, which has the effect here to special summon a Draco Slayer monster from your deck in defense position. Which this is a Draco Slayer, as you can see here. So that just works as well to get you a field spell. And there should be like a few other ways. Let's see. Well, with the punk stuff, you can access Ancient Fairy Dragon and stuff, I guess. And if you are able to make Ultimaya to Zulkin, Ancient Fairy Dragon is actually a target here for Tzolk'in, so that works. And then I believe we have Caticorn. If this card is special summon while you control no card in the field zone, you can add one field spell from your deck to your hand. And this can be done by going into this, right? Let's see, Jasmine, I believe, right? Tribute one monster. This card points to special summon one plant monster from your deck in defense position. And this just requires 2 plant monsters to make, and Verte is generic. So, somewhat accessible. I mean, it depends on the line you want to take for this, but as you can see, it's surprisingly doable to search Layer of Darkness. If you want to search Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, yeah, I mean, this is also somewhat doable. Yeah, just one way would be like Curious to Send, and then you make Nightmare Griffin. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.